Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Kaiserredux. Today we're going to be playing as Azerbaijan, a nation that has just recently received any content at all, which is pretty impressive, given that it's Azerbaijan. If you enjoy my video, or other videos like this video, like, comment, subscribe, bell, etc., etc. You've heard it all before, and you'll hear it again. So let's get started. All right, national focus time. We can build up our army, build up our air force. The economy hasn't crashed yet, but it will, and that'll be a big deal. There will be an election. One side will win once the elections are concluded, and evidently there's an Armenian insurgency. Once that ends, we're going to choose who we ally with. I haven't decided yet. This is a blind playthrough. We're going to start by reviewing the Milli Ordusu. The Milli Ordusu, born out of the tumultuous wars of independence, remains a patchwork of outdated doctrines and regional loyalties. A comprehensive review of its structure and capabilities is long overdue. Standardizing command, improving logistics, and ensuring loyalty to the state will transform the army from a symbol of survival into a true instrument of national power. Look at that. Alright. Buja Hazaru, indeed. Faraga, indeed. Alright, we have one field marshal, this guy. Boom. Our guys are not the best. What? Oh, that's good, probably. Oh, irregular cavalry specifically. Huh, interesting. We probably want... I mean, the infantry leaders might actually make this worth it. Tarlan Bey, Alayar Beyov, I guess. Maybe we want to separate off our cavalry in their own cool guy contingent. Maybe. We're not... In case you're wondering, hey, is our army going to get that big? No. No, it's not. Are we going to be building tanks? I don't know. What do you think? Let's think about that one. Let's think. The answer is no. We probably want to just do that. Can we also do that? And this? Yeah, okay. Anyways, so the situation we're starting with Azerbaijan is, look at us, we're an oil hub. We gain more political power, more resource gain, etc., etc., and put more resources to market. The Germans have invested heavily, which means, you know, they're going to be taking our oil, and it'll be cheap for them. And the Armenians are terrorists. Our country is suffering from a significant Armenian minority. Yeah, so... Strategic position, situated between Europe and Asia, grants us truly exceptional status. We serve as an oil hub for multiple regions simultaneously. Investments from affluent nations flow into our nation in exchange for the precious black gold that's transported directly to them. And if we look at the resource map mode, this Armenian oil for the BAKU oil fields is super important. We also have German investments. We managed to become a large oil producer in the region, however, mainly due to German investments. Moreover, most of the extracted oil is transferred to the Kaiserreich. In an age in which the consumption of oil is becoming a dominant need of both industrial society and modern warfare, Azerbaijan is increasingly finding herself the battleground of both corporate and national foreign interests. And finally, Armenian terrorism. Countries suffering from significant Armenian minority, greatly dissatisfied with Ottoman Azeri rule. After the April 1931 terror attack, we've cracked down on the Armenians, which led to the fact that they lay low and now acting surreptitiously, arranging sabotage and terrorist actions. How exciting. We have 3 factories that we can use for stuff. Right now, we want to build civilian factories. That'll take a while to complete. We could, and probably should, invest in economy stuff, at least at first. We can commandeer trains. How many of those do we have? We have 3. It's probably our best interest to just get 15 trains right off the bat. We're not going to need to do that again. that harms our stability, but whatever. So we're going to speed up. Look at us go. Oh boy! The Azerbaijan Democratic Republic. Azerbaijan gained its independence on May 28, 1918, during the chaos of the Russian Civil War, after seceding from the short-lived Transcaucasian Federation. But unlike its neighbor, Georgia and Armenia, who had to give up some of their lands or lose their independence, Azerbaijan only gained. In June 1918, a treaty was signed with Turkey on the railroad and oil, and on June 26, the National Army was established. However, Azerbaijan was still unstable. In Baku, the capital of Azerbaijan, power belonged to the so-called BAKU Commune, a group of Bolsheviks and Armenian Dashnaks. Already in 1918, however, the power of the Bolsheviks fell, and power went to the Centro-Caspy. Rule of the five dictators, from the Mensheviks to the Socialist Revolutionaries. Finally, Baku was captured on September 15th, 1918, by the Caucasian Islamic Army, and the Azerbaijani National Council took its rightful place as the supreme authority in Azerbaijan, led by its chairman, Fatali Khan Koski. On October 5th, the oil was denationalized. On November 15th, the Azerbaijani parliament, Majlisi Mabusan, was convened, but this was not the end of the era of chaos. Unresolved territorial disputes with Germany and Georgia and Armenia led the Azerbaijan to fierce inter-ethnic resistance. Throughout 1918 and 1919, Azerbaijani and Ottoman forces were embroiled in various border conflicts with Azerbaijan's neighbors, with Georgia over the Zakatala region and the Kura River Valley, with Armenia over the Karabakh and Zengezur. To prevent escalation, the Caucasus Conference was convened at the initiative of Germany. The Caucasus Conference ended largely in favor of Azerbaijan, satisfying all of its territorial claims, receiving a guarantee of independence from Germany, and a huge flow of investments for the development of the economy. Since 1918, the liberal Musafist Party has held power in the republic, but the party has had to concede much of the opposition in recent years, and it's possible to have great difficulty winning the next elections. Interesting. Get another event on the legislature. Majlis Mabusan. The political landscape of Azerbaijan is largely represented by the Majlis Mabusan, currently the largest faction in the centrist liberal Musavat Party. The other four major parliamentary parties are the Muslim Social Democrats, Humit, the liberal agrarian Ehrar Party, the splinter right wing of the Musavat Keret, and the Pan-Islamic Ittihad. Apart from those are several less popular movements, mainly SR-based, Eniksi and Zalki, as well as the ultranationalist party of the Mukhalidin. Interesting. Oil trade in the German mark. Oh boy, oil trade in the German mark. From the oil deserts of Baku to the vinelands of Ganja and the silk looms of Shamaki, the Republic of Azerbaijan sits at the crossroads of prosperity and dependence. 2 decades have passed since the young republic declared independence. The economy that rose from the ashes of empire was built upon 3 pillars: oil, foreign capital, and free enterprise. Baku's oil, once fueling the Russian Empire, now drives half the Reichspakt. Yet, prosperity came at a price, as the Deutschmark became as common in business circles as the Manat itself, and German syndicates carved a powerful niche in Azerbaijan's financial and industrial life. While liberal policy and open trade allowed the economy to flourish, turning Baku into a cosmopolitan port of immense wealth, it also fostered a degree of dependency. German firms dominate refinery and transport infrastructure, and Azerbaijani exports are deeply tied into Berlin's markets. At the same time, Musavat's cautious fiscal management and dedication to education and agrarian modernization brought genuine progress in rural regions, making Azerbaijan one of the most developed and politically stable states in the post-imperial Caucasus. Being an oil hub brings many advantages. But beware the resource curse. The question of Karabakh and Zengezur. The 2 decades after the Republic declared independence, the mountains of Karabakh and Zengezur remain a thorn in the side of Baku. Despite the formal annexation of these territories during the Caucasus Conference, Armenian guerrilla forces under Garagin Nezd, continue to operate from fortified positions with occasional support from remnants of former Armenian government. The recent decade of intermittent conflict has left the population wary. Raids, sabotage, and terrorist attacks, most notably the tragic bombing of the Azerbaijan State Academic Opera and Ballet Theater, have deepened national wounds. While Germany and the Ottoman Empire previously exerted pressure on Baku to restrain military action, the operational phase of the insurgency has largely cooled. The rebels are scattered, their leadership in hiding, and active conflict is at a low point. 2 decades later, the Armenian issue remains a scar in national conscience. In Baku, many view the Armenian minority as a potential fifth column, resentful of Azeri administration. Within the confines of mountainous hideouts, Armenian insurgents are preparing to reclaim their nation's sovereignty, even if it sets the whole Caucasus on fire. We should deal with these separatists. Roger, roger. I should consider, can I? Yeah, I was like, I bet we can barely afford to produce enough anything. Yeah. We don't have enough military factories to produce practically anything at all. How much is this killing my productivity? 15%? Yeah, I can handle minus 15. How barbaric! Such barbarism. Because Kaiserredux is still on Kerensky. Even if it doesn't make any sense at all. I should probably do that. Probably defend Baku, my capital. The 1936 Riga Winter Olympics. For the first instance of the Winter Olympics at the German Protectorate, the United Baltic Duchy was picked as the host nation with Riga at center, funded by German taxpayer dollars. The Riga has been outfitted with a plethora of new stadiums to accommodate the prestigious event. The Riga Olympics have had the heaviest medals thus far in Winter Olympics history. For the winners, first place went to Norway, carrying home 7 gold medals. Second and third were Sweden and Germany, respectively, with 3 and 2 gold medals. Russian athletes made a larger appearance than in the 1932 Montreal Olympics. Canada's first as the exiled British Empire. Canadian athletes also participated, taking home 1 gold medal. Congratulations to the winners. We've reviewed the military. All right. We have our options. We are not correct to get guys from the Portrait of Marx. We don't have ideological loyalty, which, given how much manpower we're getting, not a lot. Yeah. So we could arrange ordnance delivery right now. Ooh. Yeah, these are pretty good. Equipment procurement would be good, but guns would be better. Would it be? I don't know. I feel like getting 50 fighters is probably pretty good. Yeah, looks like they're trying to... Looks like cavalry is what we want to go with. Whenever possible. Yeah. Giving our cavalry better piercing. Ooh, more population would actually be sick. That would be really good. Okay, mountaineers. Logistics. Okay, I think we want to probably building up the new army to get that recruitable population. With disciplined leadership, domestic production, and organized reserved, the Mili Ordusu will finally embody the strength and unity of Azerbaijan. And the fact that we can't get the Marx picture is rough. And getting bold attack right now is pretty useless, because we're not fighting anyone. Since we know we can get better guns, it might be in our best interest to do this. Train. Signing of the Totalist Charter. The people must reject this madness. On the initiative of Oswald Mosley, the ambitious British aristocrat turned revolutionary, various representatives of a particular vision of socialism have been invited to Birmingham, the fortress of the Maximists. Among the figures present were Benito Mussolini, one of the chief architects of today's occasion, Georges Outramar, Mussolini's man in Switzerland, Marcel Boucard, sent to the official delegate in Georges Valois' stead, Ramiro Lesdema Ramos, the inventor of the term National Syndicalism, and Niels Flig, an unorthodox Swedish socialists, and many delegates from around the world. The result of the meeting was the Totalist Charter, stressing the importance of total devotion to the state. as means of achieving true socialism. The existing proletarian nations need to be awakened, while the remaining plutocracy shattered and transformed until the spirit of all people is liberated from treachery, capitalism, and liberal democracy. With a brave chairman at the helm of totalitarian socialist parties, all nations of the world shall achieve their destiny and cooperate in the eternal brotherhood of patriotic proletariats. The people must reject this madness. We shall see. We shall see what the people reject. I'm going to speed things up. Boop. Eddie VIII, crowned King of Great Britain. George V, as the last King of Great Britain and Ireland to have ruled the home isles themselves, has passed away while in exile in Canada. The first Windsor King. His reign shall be remembered with sorrow and sadness, as during it Britain lost both the Weltkrieg and its homeland. The crown was inherited by Edward, Prince of Wales, who now styles himself Edward VIII. King Edward is a vengeful and ambitious man, and not in good terms with the Prime Minister, Charles Avery Dunning. He lives on the goal of avenging his father and reconquering the British Isles, thus quite popular amongst the British exiles in Canada, among others. Interesting. Interessant. Ooh, color change. Alash Orda, or less autonomy became more autonomous. Fourth Anglo-Afghani War, after the Weltkrieg, as the British Raj collapsed in turmoil and warfare. The neighboring kingdom of Afghanistan took advantage of this as an opportunity to seize Peshawar and Quetta, both border regions of the Dominion. However, the Afghan government's attempt to modernize over the last decades have been met with fierce resistance from the conservative elements in the country. King Habibullah Khan now hopes to use the turmoil in Delhi following the death of King George V to his advantage. By repeating the success of the Third Anglo-Afghan War, the king attempts to silence his conservative opposition and bring new lands to the crown. However, international experts do not put many hopes on the tiny mountain nation winning this conflict. Who cares about Afghanistan? Why? I do, of course. And according to this game, so do the Germans, apparently. Am I going to send volunteers? If I can, yes. Why? Mostly just to have them be present. Or maybe send one infantry division? Or... This is such a terribly designed template. I might want to use my army XP to be like... Not that. Instead, Mountaineers. It's not a cavalry division. Why would you want a mixed Mountaineer cavalry division? I'm just going to do that. And that won't cost me any additional guys. Or any additional arms. And I'm going to send my one Mountaineer division to go Mountaineer. Yeah, because division speed is based on the slowest unit in the division. Uh-oh. Berlin stock crisis. As predicted, Azerbaijan's finances and economy are in deep crisis. The average denizen, that's a weird word use, but whatever, faces problems selling his products, and a number of factories are closing. That means various dangerous elements will have a greater impact upon the political landscape of the country. May Allah save us from the worst effects. We're going to actually wait to activate that, because it lets my economy run normally for a little bit longer.
Who's then?
Who's there? Asking the right questions. Electoral gridlock in France. The Commune of France is the world's leading syndicalist nation, united as a federation of city communes erected by the Comité de Salut Public, the chief executive. Ever since its inception, however, the second commune was not uniform in its policy. Numerous factions arose, each one with their own idea of what path France should take. As time for revenge against Germany and world revolution closes in, the CGT election of 1936 is set to be very important. It was so important, in fact, that none of the four factions could acquire a majority. Much like before the election, a coalition must be found. But how will this change the shape of the commune's politics? Only the men, the CSP itself, no. Interesting. Indeed, it is interesting. Poland declares the Republic. After several high-profile terror attacks in Poland, a near-total collapse of their economy, a group of high-ranking Polish officials have released a statement declaring the creation of a new Polish Republic. The declaration was met with immediate declarations of support from many government branches and appears the Republic is taking control of most of the country with almost no bloodshed. The Regency Council, from ruling authority in Poland, has been dissolved, and the question of the next Polish king left forever unanswered. The people have rallied around their new republic, and the country's future appears bright. Is the old order fading? Now, yes. Austrian Empire withdraws from Italy. It's clear the Black Monday has hit the Austrian Empire hard. The Austro-Hungarian Reichskrieg minister today announced he was recalling divisions stationed in Italian territory, unable to afford the financial burden of keeping them safe from the Socialist Republic of Italy. For good or ill, the Republic of Italy is now effectively independent of Austrian domination, at least until the Austrians regain their full strength to decide whether or not the interests of the Italian peninsula are worth regaining. Many in the Republic of Italy have expressed worry about whether or not this will leave them exposed to attack by the Socialist Republic of Italy, a move that would plunge Italy into civil war once more. In response to this, the government of Ivano Bonomi has announced the end of the Republic of Lombardy-Venetia and the formation of the Republic of Italy, a full-fledged contender in the Italian struggle for power and not just a simple bystander. Austrian influence wanes further. Look at that. Wow. All right. With this, I'm going to see you in the next episode. We are going to fool around a little bit in Afghanistan. Probably not going to do much besides maybe like block this Peshawar Pass. But like, yeah. Azerbaijan. This is mostly going to be a, like, stand by and do nothing. But, you know, type situation. But, you know, when we do that, well, we're going to get involved in at least one conflict. The war in the desert. That'll be fun. Bye-bye.